Republicans in Wisconsin stalled a move by Governor Tony Evers to push back Tuesday's election, quickly adjourning a special legislative session to deal with voting issues in the wake of the coronavirus pandemic. With only a few lawmakers present, the legislature on Saturday did not take up Evers' effort to extend the election date to May 19 and convert entirely to mail-in voting. The election features the Democratic presidential primary between Joe Biden and Bernie Sanders. As the legislature made its move, the virus remained unabated. The number of confirmed coronavirus cases in Wisconsin has more than doubled this week, climbing to over 2,000 on Saturday. Also Saturday, the Republican National Committee and State Republican Party asked the U.S. Supreme Court to block a judge's ruling that would allow absentee ballots to be counted in the days after Tuesday's election. U.S. District Court Judge William Conley determined Thursday that absentee ballots should be counted if they are received by clerks by April 13 because tens of thousands of voters likely won't get their absentee ballots until after Tuesday. Voters who requested ballots by the legal deadline deserve to have their votes counted, he ruled. Conley also extended online voter registration and allowed an extra day to request absentee ballots. Wisconsin stands apart from other states in trying to hold to its April election date even though Evers has issued a statewide stay-at-home order. It also comes as Wisconsin's chief medical officer has credited the order for helping slow the rate of infections in the state. The political action Saturday at the Capitol in Madison was brief. In the Assembly, the session lasted for 17 seconds. In the Senate, it was even shorter. Assembly Speaker Pro Tem Tyler August, the only Republican to show up in either house Saturday, refused to talk to reporters after gaveling the session to a close. In the Senate, no Republicans made an appearance. Instead, they had their appointed chief clerk, Jeff Rink, bring the Senate into session and immediately end it. Two Democrats, John Erpenbach and Tim Carpenter, both wearing rubber gloves, watched from the Senate floor. Erpenbach said the Republican majority should go along with Evers and push back the election over health concerns. People will get ill if they don't, he said. The math will tell you people will get sick. It doesn't matter if you're in a polling place or you're in a convenience store or you're doing pickup, it doesn't matter, he said. It's around. I know they'll practice social distancing and do what they possibly can to keep people safe, but I don't know how somebody won't get sick. In a statement, Evers accused legislative Republicans of playing politics with public safety and ignoring the urgency of this public health crisis. Republicans have said they believe clerks will be able to take enough steps to keep voters safe. They are stressing the importance of preserving a core democratic institution, the right to vote. They also have accused the governor of trying to make changes at the last minute, after he repeatedly said that he wanted to keep in-person voting on schedule. Secretary of Defense Mark Esper, converted NYC Convention Center will be largest hospital in the United States. Secretary of Defense Mark Esper said Sunday that the Pentagon will deploy more than 1,100 doctors, nurses and other medical professionals to New York City to help combat the coronavirus pandemic that has killed more than 9,000 Americans. More than 2,250 of those deaths occurred in New York City, where the Army Corps of Engineers converted the Jacob K. Javits Convention Center into what Esper told CNN will be the largest hospital in the United States. Esper said most of the healthcare personnel deployed to New York City will serve in the converted center, which will have a 2,500-bed capacity. He said the Pentagon decided late Saturday to deploy a few hundred of them to 11 New York City hospitals that are also seeing a deficiency when it comes to medical staff. The Navy hospital ship USNS Comfort is docked in New York to assist with the crisis but is treating only a few dozen patients. Esper explained that the ship was being used to treat only trauma patients to ease the burden on the city's hospitals and keep non-COVID-19 patients from becoming infected. There are fewer trauma cases than usual amid the outbreak because more people are staying home. Esper said he gave the authority to treat coronavirus patients on the floating 1,000-bed hospital to the head of Northern Command, Air Force General Terrence O'Shaughnessy, to make that call when he needs to make that call. He said that including the Javits Center, the military has established 8 field hospitals across the USA to help deal with the outbreak. An additional 22 will come online in the next 2 weeks, Esper said. Many on Capitol Hill have criticized the Pentagon chief for not doing enough and not acting quickly enough to address the crisis. There is a lack of leadership right now that is coming out of the Pentagon, Representative Ruben Gallego, Diaz, told Politico. Gallego, a former Marine who served in Iraq and sits on the House Armed Services Committee, said Esper was too focused on keeping the military ready to face other threats rather than how he could protect service members and use military resources to fight the outbreak. If you try to treat it as a readiness problem, you are never going to get on top of this. You need to treat it as a public health problem, Gallego said. Representative Jason Crow, DeColo, a former Army Ranger who sits on the House Armed Services Committee, told The Hill, "I think the Pentagon didn't take this seriously as fast as they should have." He cited a committee hearing February 26 when Esper said the Pentagon had not considered whether additional resources were needed to deal with the virus. "The fact that the Pentagon was not yet having those discussions tells me that they were getting at this problem too late. So here we are now in a crisis," Crow said. Representative Mac Thornberry, R. Texas, a member of the House Armed Services Committee, said, "The whole society, including the military, has been playing catch-up on COVID-19 because we have never seen anything like this before." But he cautioned against being too critical under the circumstances. Esper disputed those characterizations of the Pentagon's response to the pandemic. The Department of Defense has been all in now since the beginning of this, going back 2+ months to January. "We have been all in and ahead of the curve when it comes to responding to the coronavirus," Esper said on CNN's State of the Union. Last week, Acting Navy Secretary Thomas Modly relieved Captain Brett Crozier of his command of the USS Theodore Roosevelt after Crozier distributed a letter, which was obtained by the news media, pleading for help amid an outbreak on the aircraft carrier. Saturday, President Donald Trump defended Modly's decision, saying Crozier's letter was not appropriate. Esper said Sunday that he supported Crozier's removal because Modly had lost faith and confidence in the captain, based on his actions. He said there is an investigation into the matter. "Modly made a very tough decision, a decision that I support," Esper said. "It's just another example how we hold leaders accountable for their actions." Esper disputed the idea that the Navy had not taken the outbreak on the aircraft carrier seriously enough, saying the entire military chain of command was involved in terms of providing support to this crew. He said the crew was doing well. "I'm pleased to report, right now, over half of the ship has been tested. Only 155 sailors have come up positive. Those are all mild and moderate. There have been no hospitalizations whatsoever," he said. "So the crew is being taken care of out there." Later Sunday, Esper issued a new guidance that anyone on Defense Department property has to wear a cloth face covering when they cannot maintain 6 feet of social distance in public areas or work centers.